Hi, welcome back, guys. This is Mr. Wilson again, giving you your instructions for the map activity that you guys are doing today. So you just went through the lecture and got a couple notes, and now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the map activity. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to find that your whole map is here. It's got 4 separate instructions here at the top of the paper. It says label each state with its correct abbreviation. 2, write each state out with its abbreviation in the right column. 3, place a red or blue box around each abbreviation to show the slave-owning states. 4, color each state based off its population. And we're going to go through and take a look at those steps step by step. So the states we're going to be using as our examples are Virginia and New Jersey. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on that now. Here's an area that shows Virginia and New Jersey. And I like to find this area because Virginia is south of Maryland and New Jersey's north of Maryland. Hopefully, you can already find Maryland on a map of the 13 states because, spoiler alert, it's where you live. If you can't find Maryland, I like to identify it because I think it looks like an M1928 45 caliber Browning submachine gun, my third favorite gun from World War II. So once you've found the state that looks like a Browning submachine gun, you know that Virginia is going to be the state below it, and New Jersey's over here. So I'm going to look at my table. You have a handout that's called the 13 states. It's a table with some various pieces of information. First thing I'm going to look for is the state Virginia on the left-hand side. It's written out. Next column over is going to say the abbreviation for that state. So I found Virginia, and I'm going to look at that column. I see that Virginia's abbreviation is VA. So I'm going to go ahead and write the letters VA in the middle of the state Virginia. Now I found it on the map. I need to identify whether it's a northern, southern, or middle colony, and it might be called a New England colony instead of a northern colony. So in my table, it says that Virginia, with the abbreviation VA, next column over, it says that it is a southern colony. So I'm going to go on my map down at the bottom right, where there's a list there where southern states can be listed. Excuse me, states, not colonies. And when I get there, I'm going to go ahead and write in the word Virginia and the abbreviation. So I have found where it says southern states down at the bottom, or just southern, and I'm going to write in the word Virginia, and I'm going to write in the letters VA. That way, when I look at my map and I see the letter VA, I can go down to the bottom like it's a key and say, oh, VA, that means Virginia. Now I know where that state is. Cool. Now, you might be saying, okay, that works for Virginia, but Mr. Wilson, some of the states are so small that I couldn't possibly write the letter in there and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I get that. That's why we have these lines coming out of these small states and going either into the Atlantic Ocean, or some of them go off to the left. So we're going to take a look at New Jersey. I'm going to find New Jersey in my table, and I see that the abbreviation is going to be NJ. So here's New Jersey right here. The abbreviation is NJ. I'm going to go ahead and put the letters N and J down on my paper where the map is. I'm also going to go ahead and say that, okay, if I'm looking at New Jersey, it's a middle colony. I'm going to go ahead and put New Jersey down in the middle colony and the letter NJ down there, just like we did for Virginia. At this point, my helper is going to go ahead and pause the video. If you need to get caught up filling in the information about Virginia or New Jersey, you can do so now. All right, so I've identified 2 states, and we've got the abbreviations in place. We've identified their geographic location. We've written their names down at the bottom. Next thing we need to do is find out whether these are slave-owning states or free states. So again, we're going back to Virginia on our table. And when we look at Virginia on our table, we can see that it is a slave-owning state. So like it says in the instruction, I'm going to take a red colored pencil, and I'm going to put a box around Virginia for it to be a slaveholding state. I'm also going to go ahead and look at New Jersey, since we've been doing both these states at the same time. And when I look at New Jersey on my table, it says, okay, New Jersey is a free state, so I'm going to put a blue box around New Jersey. So go ahead and do that now with your blue colored pencil, your red colored pencil. My helper's going to pause the video, and we'll pick up. Thank you, helper. So We have identified the states, we've labeled them, we've got our slaveholding and free labels going on. Next thing we need to do is take a look at the populations of these states so we can kind of see which states were the big states, which were the small states, and which ones might be more or less interested in having population representation in Congress, right? Because the bigger the population, the more votes you get in Congress. That means the more influence you can have on politics, and politics is power. So we need to see who had which populations. Again, I'm going to start with Virginia. I go to Virginia on my chart, and it says, okay, Virginia had a very high population, 747,000. So when I look at my overall map, I can see I've got a key right here, and small states are going to be less than 150,000. Medium states are 150 to 300,000, and big states are more than 300,000 people. 747,000 is, in fact, greater than 300,000, so I know that Virginia is going to count as one of my big states. Okay, I'm going to pick a color. You guys can pick any color you want. It doesn't matter. Pick colors that your teammates at your tables are not using, but go ahead, pick a color that's going to be your big state. I picked this green color. You can pick any color you want. So I said, okay, my big states are going to be green. Fill that in, and then I'm going to come back to Virginia, and I'm going to go ahead and color in the green. Do not color over the red box that you just made. A, it's going to make your paper look like trash, and B, you're not going to be able to see what you did. So be sure to be careful while you're coloring. Take your time, relax. It's an easy activity. You don't have to go crazy with it. All right, my helper's going to pause while you guys get caught up, getting some color in on your maps. Thank you, helper. Same deal with New Jersey. Going to look at New Jersey's population on the table, and I'm going to see that New Jersey has a medium-sized population there. So again, I'm going to come back to my key. We got a medium state part right here on my key. I'm going to pick a color for that. I picked pink because it's visible on the projector, but you can pick any color you want. So we'll do pink, fill in the box on our key, and we're going to go ahead on to coloring it on a map. So New Jersey's right here, and voila, we're going to color that in pink. We do not need to worry about coloring over the box because the box is outside of the state. So at this point, we've done 2 out of the 13 states. You have 11 states left to go. Go ahead, find that information, get it on your maps, and we will clean up a few minutes before the end of class to get my colored pencils back and everything else, and for me to collect your papers up. If you have any questions, now you can raise your hands and ask Mr. Wilson.